Right, and when you're coming up with the hook for a song like that, or like "Tardy for the Party," like the ding 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 ding. I'm not a singer, obviously. How do you, does it just come to your head, or is it a lot of work and playing with things back and forth? How do you? I mean, "Tardy for the Party," everybody wants to start dancing as soon as they hear that song.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of weird because I can write a song without the track. Okay, and then I can, with my relationships or whatever, I find different producers that actually do beats and tracks or whatever to play around my lyric and melody. So it depends on the situation. Sometimes people give me a track and it's high, and I'm like, okay, that's high, and it'll work for what I'm doing. Ring didn't mean a thing. My friend Focus, he gave me that track, and I just wrote to it. But the Tardy for the Party, I knew she wanted to do a song, and I heard the Tardy for the Party, and they were like, well, you know, could you help her with this? And I'm like, mm-mm. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well, let me figure out what I want to do. So basically, I kept the title, and I thought to myself, like, for her, I didn't really see her being a country singer, because country singers, they really sing, and they're really melodic, and you got to be able to deliver the melody and all of that.
Right.
So that's why I wanted her to do dance music, because it's more about the hook, and it's more about the beat. So I just took the title and played around with it in my head, sang it on my friend's voicemail. Don Vito, he's a producer. I said, hey, you know, can you do something? And I sung it for him. He said, well, put it on my voicemail. So I sung the melody for the da 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 da. What I heard for the verse, and don't be tardy for the party. Oh, I sung that on his voicemail. He took my recording and put a beat around it, and there it was. And the same thing with Closet Freak. I was sitting around in my hotel one day, and I was like, this just came to my mind. I was like, that would be a good cut. I love concept records. Okay. So sometimes I may come up with the concept first, and then I'll just play around with it in my head, and I sing it to Focus, and he played music.
There it was.
There it was.
And for your album, Candy Coated, you went with a slower album. Why did you do that instead of the dance?
Well, I've never been a dance artist per se. Me personally, and I can't dance. They're good.
But your music is a lot of people has been danced in the past.
Yeah,
right?
no, I've written a lot of up-tempo records for a lot of people. But no, truthfully, when I got with Warner Brothers, they were like, we would want you to do this adult AC album, adult contemporary album. And I was like, I don't know about that, or whatever. So I just was like, okay, I'll meet you with the happy medium, a real R&B album. And that was a joint decision from me and the label.
Okay.
It's kind of an issue when you are a creative person, like me. I can write country, I can write rock, I can write dance, I can write any type of music. Like, I don't know about everybody else. That's just me. I just like listening to all kind of stuff, and I can write anything. But as an artist, people want you to stay in a lane so you can get a fan base in a,
Right.
So in a certain area. So it was hard for me to just stay in one lane.
Will there be remixes though for the clubs? Like I'm thinking of the Whitney Houston album, which was very slow, but then there were those amazing.
Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I could.
You could still do remixes, couldn't you?
I could. I didn't think about it, but I could.
Because we love to dance.
I know. I know.
And we love to dance. I went to see Kim perform "Tardy for the Party" in New York, and Andy Cohen got up on stage with her, and I mean, it was like a mob scene.
Really?
What do you think? Because we know your thoughts about her singing from the show, but what do you think is her X factor? Why people want to watch her, especially when she's on? Like the TV show's one thing, but when she's on stage, I mean, you would have thought she was Britney Spears or Lady Gaga. You should have been at Splash that night. I'm telling you, I got hit in the face. I came home, I was like, I'm bruised up.
I heard.
It's crazy.
Well, the thing about Kim is she's fun. She's a fun person to be around. It's her natural personality. Even when the cameras are not on, she's got a larger-than-life personality. And I think that's good for the stage, or that's good for somebody who wants to be a personality on TV or whatever. So people love all that wildness and madness, for whatever reason. And people love watching her on the show, and I think that kind of transferred, to the music. And then plus the song not to
I mean, the
pat
song
myself on the
is-
back, but it was a good
It
song.
wouldn't matter if it was her singing the song out. It could be anybody, but
Thank
like
you.
that song was great.
But
It
I
brought
think
a lot
she's
of happy memories too.
yeah, she's a fun chick, you know.
Right.
And so to mix that with a good song, it worked.
Right. And Candy Coated. I know. I mean, your name's Candy, obviously. How did you come up with Candy Coated? What's the coded part?
Well, that's the name of my entertainment company, Kandi Coated Entertainment.
Right.
And I just kind of wanted to stick with when I first did it, I just wanted to kind of stick with the candy theme. And so that's how I came up with that. And then I started doing Kandi Coated Nights,
Right,
my
I was gonna
Ustream sex show, sex
Right.
and relationship
That's why I was
show.
wondering if it was related to sex, Candy Coated, or is
Oh.
that something completely different?
Well, I mean, I didn't know, like, when I first, it was something in the ear, that's why I like that. You saw that, it was like lead or something, sorry. But, no, when I had did the first time I was on Ustream, and it just kind of started us talking about sex on Ustream, I was saying, we gonna call this Candy After Dark. But Chloe already had a show called Chloe After Dark.
Right.
So I was like, I gotta come up with a different name for this. And that's when I was like, well, I might as well just use, Kandi Coated Entertainment as my company, so I might as well just keep that theme going and call it Kandi Coated Nights, because I figured that adding the night to it would make it clear that this is an adult show. Like, I didn't want people to get it twisted. Like, this is not for you kids. This is nighttime action, okay? So,
as we saw on the show.
yeah, that's why I called it Kandi Coated Nights. And then with my album, I had went through a couple names, and then finally I just was like, Kandi Coated. Overall, candy coating something is taking something that's good, like ice cream, adding a little top into it, and you made it that much better. So I feel like, hey, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's taking something good music, and just adding my little flavor to it, making it better.
And this season has had more strippers, which I love. You brought on Mr. Luscious, is it? Now, how did you know him from before? I mean, have you...
Who doesn't know Mr. Luscious?
I've never heard of him, and I have been to Swinging Witch House so many times, which I know he doesn't dance there, but yeah, I didn't know.
He has a,
I mean, explain, because...
I think he has a company, because
Okay.
I know a couple radio stations do like one night a month or one night a week, and they have these male dancers come in, and I think his company does that. Like, he's
Probably
the
for
one that
women
puts
mostly,
it together.
maybe,
I
which is why
guess.
we don't know, but...
Yeah, I guess. Sorry.
So it was just funny because you got him on, and then Phaedra brought the strippers in Miami.
Yeah,
I'm
those
like,
were
what,
whack.
I love it. It was like all the strippers in the Atlanta.
There was a lot of stripper action, a
Atlanta
lot of sex
Housewives.
talk on the Housewives this
Right,
year.
right.
And I guess partially because of me. But, hey, it was fun.
And it was cool that your mom doesn't care, like you were saying on the show. That
You know what,
talked
my
about it with her.
mother and I, we have a very open relationship, and we talk about a lot of things, but I have to say that she really, like, went off on me a couple weeks ago when the show aired, when I was talking about in order to give oral sex good, you have to love doing it. And she said to me, she was already mad at me anyway, so that's probably why she was going off. And you on TV talking about sucking on somebody's Peter. She calls it a Peter. She's like, put your mouth on somebody's Peter, and how much she was like, I cannot believe. And I was like, are you serious? It was funny though.
So, because I mean, I can see you talking with her, like, you know, privately, but it being on TV hasn't bothered her more?
She's not really. Other than that, she hasn't really tripped off of it that much. My mother, I think at a young age we had to, have that conversation about sex and different things. And when I was in high school, my mother and I, after my brother passed away, we got really, really close. And I just had a different type of relationship. I mean, I came out I started making money as a teenager, still in high school. So, it kind of made the relationship where she kind of gave me a little bit more freedom even though she still was the mom, but we had a better communication relationship than I see a lot of people. And I see a lot of people saying, "Ooh, I would not say this and that around my mother," but I have a daughter now, and I would want my daughter to have those conversations with me first, because I feel like when I was before my mother and I got to the point where we can talk about things, I was learning things and talking about things with my friends, and that's not really the place where you want your kids to learn stuff from.
Right.
Because, no. So I'd rather have that conversation with my mom, and I feel like she doesn't agree with everything I say or that I'm cool with. She definitely doesn't agree with everything, but she's very open-minded. And I think our whole family on my mother's side is very open-minded. My mother's the youngest of 14 kids. So you got to understand, in a big family like that, you have all type of things going on that everybody is, like the stripper thing. And my family's house, like for every baby shower and birthday, like we used to have strippers all the time. Like my cousin, I got it from my cousin. She's the one who was like throwing all the parties in the family all the time, and she used to always get strippers for every event. And so it would be one of my uncles is gay, so he'd be there with his friends and all my aunts and my cousins, all of us. We had the strippers. At my baby shower, I had strippers. I had more than one, I think. When I threw Tiny's first baby shower, I had a stripper at her baby shower. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it was something. It's fun. It's like, you get together with friends. It's like, oh, let's have a stripper. It's just fun.
It breaks the ice. It's fun.
It breaks the ice. Everybody can let their hair down, act silly, and whatever. So here it is. I know I had to be late teens. I don't even think I was 20 when we had our first family function where a stripper was at. So, yeah. So.
I'm so jealous.
And my mother was there. My aunts were there. My cousins, which are older than me, were there. So, come on, like, why shouldn't we talk about that? If we can have a stripper at the baby shower.
Right. That's crazy.